It's the last decade of the 20th century, and the world has been ruined. In this apocalyptic age, the strong survive, and the weak kneel. Only one man challenges this new society, and fortunately, he has the literal power to do it.
Kenshiro, Fist of the North Star!
Like most important protagonists, Kenshiro began his journey to greatness as a young orphan.
Lucky for him, he eventually met Old Man Ryukin, who was a pretty cool dude. Ended up adopting Kenshiro along with a few other kids.
He was also the 63rd Denshosha.
Don't shoot what? It's on safety.
A grandmaster of an ancient Chinese martial art called Hokuto Shinken. While anyone can learn the basics of this dangerous fighting style, there can only ever be one grandmaster for each generation.
So that's what Kenshiro set out to be. And with patience, training, and plenty of muscle building, he was named the next successor of Hakuna Matashin. Too bad his adopted brother got pissed he wasn't chosen and killed Ryukin over it. Talk about a sore loser.
With Hokuto Shinken mastered, Kenshiro can focus his energy into his strikes, effectively killing an opponent with a single blow to their pressure points. There are 708 malleable pressure points in the human body, and striking any of them can cause all sorts of effects. Stunning, blinding, healing, restoring memories, making people walk backward.
But mostly, they just make people explode. Anyway, things started looking pretty great for Kenny. He even got engaged. But then nuclear war broke out and turned the Earth into Mad Max land. Kenshiro's fiancée got kidnapped, and this guy used his knife fingers to draw a nifty Big Dipper on Kenshiro's chest. Seriously, how is he not dead after that?
Miraculously, Kenshiro survived and began his wayward journey, wandering the wasteland searching for revenge.
And if we go by how many people he blew up, I'd say he got plenty of it.
He really does leave a big mess behind. I can't even imagine what it must be like to clean up after one of his fights.
Kenshiro had no problem killing hordes of baddies with moves like his bone-crushing fist, spilling wheel-exploding fist, and 100 crack fist. Huh, seeing him kill all these people from the inside out reminds me a lot of my ex-wife.
How?
Emotionally, Wiz. Most of the time, his body explosions don't even happen right away, giving him plenty of time to explain to his foes how they're about to die, right before they explode.
You think you can beat me with a finger?
That finger struck the hidden vital point known as Gakuchu. There's no use fighting now. You're already dead.
Hakuna Matata isn't just for blowing up people.
Sure, Kenshiro has developed a number of legendary techniques, such as the Tenryu Kokyuho,
AKA the art of dragon's breathing. According to Kenshiro, this unlocks the full potential of his natural abilities, where a normal fighter would only use about 30%.
He can utilize Toki, or his own natural ki, to perform numerous techniques. Most of these involve punching, of course, but he can also create mirage images of himself, sense other fighting auras, and fire ki-based projectiles to attack or defend from a distance.
Oh, and he can perform miracles, like making a mute girl speak. How the heck?
But even that pales in comparison to Hokuto Shinken's ultimate technique, one which no previous Grandmaster ever unlocked, Muso Tensei. Only those who truly understand pain and loss can apply Muso Tensei. With it, Kenshiro draws upon his inner sadness to enter a state of nothingness. From here, he is impervious to attacks, essentially achieving intangibility.
He also somehow connects to the souls of dead allies and rivals, and can even use their techniques, but it's not like he needs them. He's already crazy enough on his own. He smashed the bones of a giant with a single hand, broke a metal table just by standing up, and hit a tank so hard, it blew up.
He's even strong enough to break a skyscraper in half.
And then when it collapsed on top of him, he just walked through it. What a boss.
Just the concrete in one floor of an average-sized skyscraper can weigh over 1,000 tons.
You think that's tough? Kenshiro can stand in lava. Lava! You know how hot lava is?
Up to 2,000.
Yeah, really freaking hot, that's what. And remember that tank? Before he blew it up, it shot him square on. It did absolutely nothing to him. Seriously, this guy is manly as hell.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Victorian England, an infamously shit-tastic time to be alive.
Whether you were a lowly street rat or a wealthy noble, Okay, well, that last one probably wasn't so bad.
That is, unless your dad, in all his infinite wisdom, decided to adopt the single greatest asshole in human history and make him your brother. That'd make you one unlucky schmuck.
That would make you Jonathan Joestar.
Hadn't you heard, Wiz? Everybody just calls him JoJo.
In an effort to take the Joestar fortune for himself, Jonathan's new brother Dio dedicated his life to breaking Jonathan emotionally, turning him into a docile puppet. But after being bullied, beaten, and thoroughly traumatized, something awakened deep in Jonathan's heart. The raging fire of a gentleman.
I don't think beating the living piss out of Dio was gentle, but it sure was satisfying. Too bad it didn't last forever, because only a few years later, Dio got his revenge when he turned into a vampire and killed Papa Joestar. Classic Dio.
With Dio now bent on world domination, Jonathan would need more than his righteous fist to save the day.
Yeah, he needed a creepy floating Italian man that punches frogs with the power of the sun.
It wasn't just any creepy floating Italian man. It was Will Antonio Zeppeli, a practitioner of Hamon, an ancient martial art designed specifically to do battle against vampires like Dio. Through their breaths, Hamon users can blast a hot electric ripple out of their bodies and flood it into their opponents. Huh.
That's what Hamon means in English. The ripple. Man, if I had a nickel for every anime protagonist who killed monsters with the power of breathing, well, that'd be 2 nickels. But let's agree, it's weird that it happened twice.
Hamon energy massively increases a user's physical abilities and allows them to disintegrate vampires with a single punch. In order to fight Dio, Zeppeli taught Jonathan everything he knew.
Like the zoom punch, where Jonathan stretches his arm and punches an opponent from far away like he jumped on a gum-gum fruit. He does this by using the ripple to dull the pain of dislocating his shoulder before snapping it back. That might sound crazy, but there are real-life examples of breathing basically giving people superpowers.
Like the Dutch adventurer Wim Hof, who can survive being nearly totally submerged in ice water for almost 2 hours. Through forced exhalation, Hof drops his oxygen levels in order to supercharge his body's thermoregulation and release euphoric chemicals to numb the pain, just like the zoom punch.
Hamon is basically just like the Eastern idea of chi, voila! Which is circulated through the body by, what else? Breathing. And just like chi, it can do lots of crazy shit.
Like walking on water, magnetizing plants, or controlling an enemy's muscles. It can even be transferred through solid surfaces like metal.
And he can catch his fists on fire and slam you senseless with his patented Sunlight Yellow Overdrive. It'll leave any monster smiling and satisfied.
Jonathan took these skills as he, Zeppeli, and the definitely not just there for exposition Speedwagon invaded Dio's domain and waged war against an army of bloodthirsty zombies.
Including Dio's right-hand monsters, Bruford and Tarkus. Tarkus was strong enough to rip entire boulders out of the ground and slice through a cliff with one swing. He could even snap JoJo's neck and cut our old pal Zeppeli in half. Rest in peace, creepy floating Italian man. Sorry you had to be born the mentor. Hope none of your relatives die horrifying death too.
Before succumbing, Zeppeli's last act was to pass his ripple onto Jonathan, not only allowing him to heal his own broken neck, but also combine their energies together.
And making JoJo strong enough to cut through Tarkus's giant arm. Not with his nifty new sword, Pluck, with his bare goddamn hand.
With this power boost, Jonathan faced Dio once and for all, and fisted him with his raging hot ripple. Wait.
Now, Fisted Dio was pretty impressive, considering Dio could later fight faster than light stands like Star Platinum. Hell, even other Ripple users like Joseph can dodge beams of light too.
But more than his strength or speed, or even Hamon, Jonathan's greatest strength was always his intelligence and unstoppable determination. It was that burning drive for justice that defeated Dio all those years ago, and the same one that defeated him again. But this victory was bittersweet.
He may be built like a brick shithouse, but Jonathan's got the personality of a golden retriever. Even after everything Dio did to him, all the lies and abuse and dad murder, Jonathan still loved him like a brother, and still cried those hot, wet 80s man-made tears.
And even after Dio returned on Jonathan's wedding night to murder him and steal his body, Jonathan sacrificed himself so his wife and unborn child could escape. But he did not die in vain. His bloodline would continue throughout the ages, spawning a line of illustrious and bizarre heroes who would crush Dio's plans and save the universe.
And they all had one thing in common: his name. JoJo! Wait, is the ripple his tip?
どこから攻めても無意味だ。汚い面を近づけるな。
なんだこの人は。
レイ、踏み込みが甘いぞ。
準備はいいか。
伏せろ。
清めてやる。
貴様が握るのは天ではなく小生だ。
ジョースター家の力を見せてやる。
Limit break.
勇者ブラフォードの今だ。なんだサンライトイ
お前はもう死んでいる。
JoJo!